Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Um, I'm doing this video again right before winter solstice. Um, Before I get into the subject matter, um, I just want to say that our promotion that we have going on is the book, uh, Paradise Health, Feasting and Fasting Guide to Optimal Health through Detoxification. Um, Promotion I have going on. Well, we're in the last couple of days. I have a couple of sets left, so a lot of people have ordered. Thank you. You've ordered. Definitely give me some feedback. But if you're on the fence and you're thinking about ordering, then definitely order. The promotion is over Friday, the 24th, so definitely take advantage. So I wanted to do one more video before the winter solstice, really quick, to talk about, I had a thought that, typically when there's, because with the winter solstice, it is the most powerful time of the year to fast. We have a lot of religious holidays around this time. That's no coincidence. So, but there are other signs, other than using the planetary shifts, that it could be optimal time for you specifically to fast. And I wanted to go through those. So I have five telltale signs that let you know it's time for fasting. I have personally used these throughout my fasting life. In fact, it was in the year 2000 when I really started doing some aggressive fasting. And maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. But what I wanted to discuss today is, the things that a lot of us, deal with, and these become opportunities, for fasting. And I think, fasting is not necessarily the first thing we think of, and it should be, So let's go through them. All right, the first one is, I always get this a lot, like, how can I increase my energy? I got low energy. I'm just feeling lethargic. That's the first sign. If you're feeling low energy, that is definitely the first sign that you need to, that it's time for a fast, is low energy. Basically, you have low energy is because you haven't given the thing is that energetically it takes, the body has to process food. That is the most energetic thing that the body has to do. So it's like, the question is naturally, okay, well, this is how I get energy, this is how I nourish, this is how I live, is from eating food. But sadly enough is that we eat too much food, and we eat too much of the wrong food, and we eat that too much of the time. Nature has programmed it where we should naturally have seasons of feasting and seasons of fasting. But because we live in a consumer-driven world, food is the first thing that we're consuming before anything else. And so we're consuming every day, all day, every day, when nature, in nature, we should have periodic breaks. So because we are exhausting the digestive system. So for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm going to be looking down at my phone. I'm also doing this on Facebook Live as we speak. So just excuse that. So yes, so low energy. When you got low energy, you're exhausting your system. You have to give your system a break. It's just like if we stayed up continuously more than throughout a 24-hour period, we would be zapped out. With sleep we get rejuvenated, we heal, we get revitalized. So we have to revitalize the digestive system by giving the system a break from digesting food. At least the amount of food. You can always eat less. You can always, I say eat less, drink more. So low energy, that's number one. Number two is when food stops tasting good. I know I'm not the only one that experiences that. When I start eating, if I'm eating, there are times when you pretty much have basically the same food, and sometimes it tastes really really good, and sometimes it's just okay, and oftentimes that's the body saying, it's the taste. The taste sensations are connected with the digestive organs, and if the digestive organs are really, ripe and ready to break down food, then it's going to taste better. So when the food stops tasting as good as it can taste, it's just like if you're eating a piece of fruit. That's why fruits are a good barometer. Or a good. I make this analogy to kind of make clear what I'm talking about. Like if you're eating a banana, for example, and you just ate, the first banana tastes really good. Like if you're really hungry, second banana is going to taste half as good. The third banana, and so on. By the time you're in the 10th banana, it's not going to taste nearly as good as the first banana. Okay, so in general, when food stops tasting good, that lets you know it's a time to start take a break from food, so it can taste really good. So that's number two. Number three is when you're in physical pain or discomfort. And this could be internally, in terms of, you maybe have some nausea, or you may have some sort of internal pain, or it could be pain in the extremities, like in the joints, like knees, ankles, shoulders, your neck, etc. Basically, the system is, anytime there's pain, there's stagnancy. And, with stagnancy, there's an area of stagnant energy that's causing the discomfort and the pain. So, again, taking a break from food is going to allow the system to, flow better. That energy should dissipate, and the pain should go away. The last thing we would need to do is to, try to stimulate the body in the other direction. Pain, again, is just a signal from the body letting us know that it's trying to heal. And the best way that the body can heal is through detoxification. And the best way to detox is through fasting. Okay, so the last two are, aside from physical, these are more spiritual reasons why one would fast. And, like I said at the beginning, I've used these things with great success in my life. And, I think that you can too. Okay, so number four, basically when life happens, all of us, go through life. And if you live long enough, obviously, there are times, when the sun is shining bright and everything goes right. And then there's time when the rain comes pouring down, and, as they say, when it rains, it pours. So typically, it's not, life is all about not necessarily what happens, but how you respond to what happens. And, especially if we go through either something really traumatic, something really disappointing, something so traumatic and or disappointing that it basically takes your appetite. I mean, when we eat food, we sit down, especially if we've had something prepared, it's loaded with like protein and, good building block stuff. Our body has to be in a certain emotional state where we can, properly enjoy that food. If we're not in that state, if we're going through something, a bad breakup, fired from the job, just something, huge disappointment. And we've all had those in our lives. And these can be the best time to take on a fast. Not only because, you probably don't have an appetite for food anyway, but number two, they can, really allow you to deal with whatever situation you're going through 100 times better. Because your body is now only taking, whether you're doing juice fast, you're doing water, or something like that, everything is going to be working better until you're able to digest whatever has happened, and to basically get back to a state where now you're able to digest, fats, proteins, carbohydrates. So when life happens, life is not necessarily what happens. Life is going to happen to all of us, because those are, opportunities for growth and expansion, and to gain wisdom, which then leads to to being empowered, and so forth. So fasting, again, I've used it time and time in my life, and it has always worked for me. And then last but not least, on a more positive note, is when you're looking to achieve some goal, you need a breakthrough in your life. If you've been sort of stagnant with whatever you've been working on or working out, and you're looking to do something monumental. Like as an example, anytime I'm doing public speaking, I typically would not eat, or I would, obviously just have juice. When you put food in your system, again, it requires a lot of energy for the body to break that down. You're not going to be at your best. You're not going to be thinking as quickly. You're not going to make quick, sound decisions when your body is loaded with, or your body has the job of breaking down big food. So, again, if you're looking to, really have some good things happen, fasting, because, for people who are into the science of mind, meditation, prayer, I think all of us should be into something of that, and I'm all down for, prayer, meditation, law of attraction, those kinds of science of mind techniques, where we do creative visualization, goal setting, and that sort of thing. But when you marry that with fasting, that creates a 1-2 punch where now your mind, because I believe that it's no accident that they call it a fast, because everything happens faster. If you're sick and you need healing, you want to heal in a fast way, fast. If you are looking to set some kind of goal, some kind of achievement, you want to do something monumental. Like for me, on a daily, like if I have an important meeting or an event, or like if I have to vent and I know I'm good, I know to, or if I'm on a deadline. Even when I was in college, actually, that's when I really started putting this into practice, because like studying engineering, and it was very rigorous curriculum, and required me to to use all of my mind for hours on end. I couldn't have food on my stomach and be at my best. So that's when I really started putting this whole thing into practice, where I knew, again, if you busy setting goals and achieving them and working to get them, then food becomes secondary, because you're getting fed from whatever it is you're working towards. That's when you know that you're on the right path of doing what you're doing, when things can feed you in other way. It's feeding you spiritually, therefore you don't need physical food. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Again, like I said, it's by far the most powerful practice that that certainly I can recommend, but anybody, I don't know if there's anybody could recommend anything more powerful, whether it's for healing, and longevity, or if you're looking to repair from a bad situation, a bad relationship. Again, I'm sure we've all had them. Or you're looking, for success in your life. Fasting is a way to get there, in a way where you're able to, really do it not only in an expedient way, but in a way where it's going to bring balanced results. So, once again, I got a few more days of my promotion book. Also, in this it's not just my book. It's also with the DVD set, which is a course on raw food and nutrition, in terms of how to prepare the different entree, desserts, etc. Thanks for tuning in. If you're on Facebook, definitely comment, hit like, whatever. YouTube, same thing. Subscribe to the channel. Post your questions, comments, feedback, criticisms, etc. I hope everyone has a very peaceful and productive holidays, winter solstice, and a happy new year. This will probably be my last video of 2016. So next time I see y'all, on the other side of the year. So again, one love, peace.